Now, Mr. Berryhill, you have previously been sworn in. Have you been sworn in? Okay. Mr. Berryhill, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about September 23rd of 2018, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention. Mr. Berryhill, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Berryhill, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Berryhill, I also have before me a document that is titled the Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1 on page 2 of this document, the set of initials HB on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Mr. Berryhill, do you understand? Now, Mr. Berryhill, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this same document, Mr. Berryhill, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Berryhill, did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Mr. Berryhill, did you also sign this document?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, Mr. Berryhill, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Berryhill, did you sign a document out there that is titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Berryhill, before you signed and initialed these documents that I have just mentioned, did your attorney, Mr. Adams, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Berryhill, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
Oh, excuse me, let me back up. No, state, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit Number 1, and you would also like to offer State's Exhibit Number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, do you have any objections?
No.
Okay, no objections. State's Exhibits Number 1 and 2 are admitted. Now, Mr. Adams, you've advised and counseled Mr. Berryhill. Is there any evidence that he's mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None.
And Mr. Adams, the court is going to also take judicial notice of the court-ordered evaluation that was conducted on March 1st of 2022. And Mr. Berryhill, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his recommendation? I mean, with
Yes,
his services? You satisfied with his services? Has
Yes,
he
sir.
provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Berryhill, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that the court will take judicial notice of the court-ordered evaluation pursuant to Article 16.22 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The court will also find that your pleas and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. The court will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is for 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail.
Okay, Mr. Berryhill, the state is offering that you serve 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you're entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case is $332. Mr. Berryhill, will you be able to pay the $332?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Berryhill, I have before me an affidavit of indigence. This affidavit of indigence was signed on March 1st of 2022. Is everything in this document, this affidavit of indigence, which has your signature on it? I think you signed it on February 28th of 2022. Mr. Berryhill, is everything in this document true and correct? It has your monthly income and assets and also your monthly expenses.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Berryhill, the magistrate, Judge Sheffield, on March 1st of 2022, found that you met the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. That is, he found that you was indigent. So this court is going to make that same finding. And based on that finding, Mr. Berryhill, the court cost of $332 will be waived. That just simply means that you will not have to pay it because the court has found that you're indigent pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Mr. Berryhill, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Berryhill, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Berryhill, this will conclude your case. Please follow the bailiff, and you have